He explains he only wanted Gente to stop comparing their progress, because they are fundamentally different. They return to the special pyramid. Upon paying the 2,000 coins, the pyramid activates. The system grants an initial reward, giving Gentile 2 inventory points, and she'll do 5. Gentile is excited and wonders if the pyramid contains a subspace, while our boy guesses the reward scale based on the coins contributed. Another system notification appears, granting both men the special fortunate, which doubles their recovery rate for 24 hours. Feeling refreshed by the buff, Gente believes he can finally become stronger, and stop relying solely on our hero. Out of nowhere, the orc from before returns with 2 larger companions to seek revenge. Gentile instinctively hides behind Yahello, but the barbarian wants him to stand and fight since the rewards have made him stronger. Our hero steps forward too, declaring that Gente has no reason to be scared with a barbarian on his side. Yahello instantly dashes forward, planning to intercept Gente on the other side. Jint panics, having assumed they would fight the horde together with. Our hero drives his spear through one orc, lifting the creature high into the air before, or slamming it hard against the ground. Right then, another orc appears directly behind our boy, ready to land a lethal blow. Fortunately, Gentile intervenes just in time, attacking the monster and drawing its aggro. Now engaged in a solo struggle, Gente struggles as the orc strikes from multiple directions. He feels as though he is dying, his body beginning to bleed from the onslaught. Soon, however, his form starts to glow. He receives a special fortunate, doubling his recovery rate for the next 24 hours. Satisfied by this newfound resilience, he begins dodging with renewed determination, fired up by the desire to become strong enough to stand as a barbarian's true friend. Despite his resolve, Gente receives a heavy blow and then sends him slamming into a nearby tree. Kneeling on the ground, he admits to himself that he has relied too heavily on the fortunate, but he notices a silver lining. He can finally see a pattern in his opponent's attacks. Dashing forward with intent, he anticipates the orc's downward strike. After narrowly dodging the fatal head, Gente leaps and pierces his knife into the enemy's throat, finally defeating. Older praises this progress, while Jun admits he is finally getting a handle on things. He stands stunned by how our protagonist has totally decimated the other 2 orcs using only a spear. System notification pops up for Yahello, announcing that he has obtained the spear mastery skill. He is pleased to receive a new skill using the weapon stolen from his enemies. Gente notes that this must be similar to how he acquired his production skill. The thought of learning skills simply by using different weapons excites our hero. With sparkling eyes, Yahello asks Gente if he is already recovered. Gente immediately understands that the warrior wants to resume the hunt. Pointing at a set of footprints, Yahello follows the trail toward what he believes is an orc. Yahello follows the trail toward what he believes is an orc hideout, hoping to find weapons other than spears. Soon the pair finds the orc village and hides behind the bushes. Nearby, 2 scouts whisper to one another, discussing how their army would have already taken control of the area if not for these monsters. One scout feels proud to be the first to find the hideout, while the other suggests they hurry back to report their findings. Unexpectedly, a hand reaches out to them, making both scouts scream. It is actually Yahello appearing behind them, reminding them to keep their mouths shut. He comments on their disguises, noting they were so effective he almost didn't recognize them. They yell it off while pointing toward the enemy territory. These men are actually underlings of our protagonist. The leader of the group, number 1, informs him that if they get caught, they want to make it back alive. He advises our boy to leave, even though the barbarian is powerful. The orc the ruler makes this place too dangerous. Number 1 believes the army is required to deal with such a threat, but Yahello is only concerned with the shiny weapon the ruler is holding. He stands up immediately, planning to take that axe for himself. He leaves for the village along with Gente, ignoring the underlings' attempts. To stop him. After defeating the surrounding orc, Yahello stands before the orc the ruler. He advises Gente to rest while he takes care of the leader personally. He attempts to speak to the giant in the orc language, but the ruler becomes furious, realizing Yahello is merely repeating insults he has heard elsewhere. The orc the ruler instantly lands a heavy strike with his axe. After dodging, protagonist lands a kick against the ruler's armor, but the metal is unexpectedly strong. Realizing he cannot fight this opponent barehanded, Yahello barely manages to dodge another swing. If that axe lands, he knows he is finished, as even his ogre skin won't hold up against it. Seizing an opening, he grabs the ruler's arm, decides to take the weapon by force, lifting the massive orc into the air. As soon as the axe lands in his hand, Yahello strikes the orc down. A system notification informs him that he has obtained the axe mastery skill. From the sidelines, the underlings are stunned to see that he has actually defeated the orc the ruler. Gente is equally impressed to see our boy destroy such a formidable enemy. Number 1 admits how powerful Yahello truly is, considering him closer to a monster than a human. As Yahello stands tall over his fallen foe, the underlings worry that a force of nature like him cannot be allowed to roam freely. Regardless of their fears, our hero has successfully acquired the orc the ruler's great axe, the military base. Colonel Moranjong receives a report detailing how Cheoldu single-handedly defeated the junior ogre boss during his test, for completely wiping out the young Gu clan and the woodworks on Nova. The colonel questions why such talent hasn't been observed until now. The reporter informs her that it is likely due to his age, as he is not yet old enough to be enlisted. Upon discovering that the boy is merely a senior in high school, she closes the file and immediately orders an enlistment notice to be sent, so they can recruit our protagonist without delay. The soldier before her suggests it may not be that simple, as the boy does not seem like someone who takes orders easily. Colonel Zhang believes they must keep individuals like him in check. Suddenly, Warrant Officer O arrives at the door. The colonel smirks, having already wanted to see him. Hearing the officer's name, the reporter wonders if she intends to send pursuers after Cheoldu. With a dark expression, she mentions they are about to face a new world. If our hero refuses to cooperate, they will use force. Warrant Officer Jun Wang-o enters and salutes his superior. A portal appears in the Cheongju disaster area. Members of the Yungu clan emerge as onlookers point out that the thugs have finally been beaten, noting that it serves them right. Others mention that the clan had also stolen from them. Among the crowd, Cheoldu and Genti stand watching. Seeing the public reaction, Jinte realizes everyone is aware of what has transpired. Zhangdu appears and remarks that our boy has become the hero of Nova in Cheongju. Meanwhile, Cheoldu feels good to be back on Earth and decides to visit his father at home immediately. Before he can leave, a voice calls out to him. Second Lieutenant Sunga Choi has arrived to deliver a proposal from the army. Our protagonist grows confused, while Jinte finds the officer quite pretty. Seong begins her explanation, but without listening to the full speech, Chil-du turns away to leave. Shang panics and yells for him to wait, unable to process being ignored. She shouts that they are offering him a position as a commissioned officer. Gentai is stunned to hear that our hero could go straight to the upper ranks, but Shidu remains entirely uninterested. Seong is furious, but her subordinate reminds her that people like him are difficult to handle. The subordinate then addresses Childo as a rude school poser and lands a kick on him. This man is actually Officer O, who asks if our boy is ready to talk now. Before Childo can reposition himself, O lands a series of rapid kicks. Feel the power behind the strikes. The old two admits the man is incredibly strong and fast. Officer O mocks him, calling him a rookie compared to the fighters in Neo Soul. The term is new to Childo. O continues his speech, telling the boy to accept his duty to serve and claiming he deserves to mentor him once he joins. Shildu realizes the true powerhouses are located on Nova. He believes an opponent like this soldier would have been impossible to beat if he hadn't grown stronger himself. When O asks for a decision, our protagonist laughs it off, noting that the officer looks like a big shot from Nova. Childu enters his fighting mode, deciding to give his all to win because he has no intention of enlisting. Officer O finds the threat cute until our hero attacks from a different angle, asking if he finds this move cute as well. With grim determination, the Oldu begins landing heavy punches. The officer is forced into a defensive position, struggling to understand where this power is coming from. He Oldu continues his assault without taking a single step back, always back, having believed this was the boy's first trip to Nova. Yet he finds himself unable to counter any attacks. Driven by his pride as a ranker, O rushes forward to counterattack. To his surprise, he is met with a devastating knee from our boy. He begins to bleed, slams forcefully into the ground. Number 1 wonders happily if his leader has won the fight, while Jinte observes that the combat is inhuman. Shung rushes to the fallen officer in a panic. The Aldo remarks that the fight wasn't bad and leaves, telling O he will catch up with him later on Nova. Covering his eyes with one hand, or wonders how the boy is so strong. Shung asks if he is crying, but the officer laughs it off, remarking that he was simply beaten by a kid. He stands up with her help, vowing never to forget the name Childu. Back at home during dinner, Childu's father learns that the world may be ending soon. Our protector. At home during dinner, Fildu's father learns that the world may be ending soon. Our protagonist calms him, stating that he is there to protect him. Pointing at an orc axe, the elder says he wouldn't have believed the stories if his son hadn't brought such an object home. It is possible to bring items from Nova to Earth, though not the other way around. The Oldu asks his father to come to Nova with him, but the old man declines. He is pleased to see his son finding his own way, and insists his only duty is to keep farming until the end. Childu suggests he can farm on Nova as well. While drinking, his grandfather sighs, saying he doesn't have many days left and cannot adjust to a new place. Internally, our hero admits the old man is right. The planet is too dangerous, and passing the Doomsday exam would be impossible for him. He decides he will take his father once he becomes even stronger. He tells the old man to wait for the right time. Suddenly the bell rings. The old man wonders if they have a guest, while Shio Du simply comments that the visitor is fast. Later, our protagonist sits with Gente to research Nova. The government has censored most information, labeling it a national disaster. Ki Oldu points out they are controlling the media to reduce public confusion, which allows those in the know to take advantage of the situation. Jintai reminds him of what the soldier said regarding Neo's soul and explains that Changjiangzhou is not the only portal location. Portals are open in various regions. Government entities and corporations have already begun developing Nova. Neo's soul, for instance, is connected to a portal in Paju that opened 2 years ago. Considering 2 years on Earth equals 10 years in Nova time, Chaeldu believes the area must be filled with powerful people. Jintae realizes why Neo's soul is considered the premier location for growth, though they won't receive initial activation rewards there since it is already developed. Sheldon feels that staying behind would only set him back, believing better weapons and gear will be available in such an advanced area. After their discussion, Chaeldu decides to move. Jintae notes they lack a car because his father took his away, but our boy just laughs, having already made a plan. Later, they ride in a vehicle driven by a woman from his group of underlings. Young Du thinks our hero has made an excellent choice. He and his men wish to follow Chaeldu as their boss, though they still have business to settle with the remains of the young Du clan. Chaeldu acknowledges this and instructs them to catch up once they finish their business. The driver wonders if they will be safe in a place under heavy military influence. Chaeldu has already decided to remove anything that stands in his way. Soon the car arrives near Neo's soul. Both our protagonist and Gente stand beneath the massive portal. Gente wonders what it looks like on the other side, but Chaeldu doesn't care about the scenery as long as he can grow stronger. Gente stands amazed by the landscape of Neo's soul. Having only existed for a decade, the city exceeds his expectations, appearing as developed to him as the height of the Joseon dynasty. Chaeldu finds the progress impressive as well. Their observation is interrupted when a middle-aged woman yells for help, pointing toward a thief causing chaos nearby. As the criminal rushes toward our protagonist, he demands that the path be clear. To the thief's surprise, our hero grabs him by the and slams him into the ground. Chaeldu feels a surge of excitement at the prospect of facing new opponents in this city. He and Jinti enjoy a meal provided by the same woman, who offers the treat in gratitude for the recovery of her monthly savings. As Jintai eats, he remarks on the benefits of civilization, recalling the days when he had to survive on crocodile meat. Meanwhile, our boy has already polished off a dozen bowls. The worker tells them to eat their fill since the meal is on the house. While enjoying the food, our hero insists the deed was a simple matter and encourages the lady to reach out if she ever faces trouble again. He then returns to his meal with frantic energy. The woman feels a sense of relief, but mentions that the village is plagued by raiders despite the presence of soldiers. When Gentai asks if such incidents are common, she nods, explaining that the situation has worsened as the population of Neo Soul spiked. With a shortage of monsters to hunt, the strong have begun to wish on the weak. This news only makes Koldu more eager to turn these villains into his own prey. The lady advises them to acquire the discovery skill before entering any more fights. When our protagonist asks about the skill, she realizes they are newcomers. She explains that discovery is essential in this region, and can be obtained by hunting eagle owls in the local grounds. This ability allows a person to check the attributes of others. Jintae grows excited, noting they could finally check their own stats. Our hero stands up instantly, ready to hunt the owls. Noticing they are bare-handed, the woman suggests they gear up first. The duo eventually departs the leather shop wearing newly purchased armor, though they still lack proper weapons. Following the lady's recommendation, they arrive at the Young Ho workshop, which is reportedly run by a master craftsman. A drunken man appears behind them and asks for their business. Sholdu states they need weapons, while Jintae expresses annoyance at the man's heavy scent of alcohol. The drunkard passes them, noting they are currently unarmed. Jintai asks if the smith takes custom orders, having heard he can forge anything. Calling them innocent, the drunken man reveals that the workshops in Neo Soul have largely vanished. When our boy asked why, the blacksmith explains that iron has become scarce since bandits seized the mines on Obong Mountain. Childo asks if these bandits also rob the common folk. The smith confirms this, adding that the group is led by the Big Three. The primary leader is Ho Kai-al Jung, a nightmare of a man who executes those in his way. He carries a bounty of 100,000 goblin coins,